and welcome to Behrchat. My name is James. If you haven't already, why not? Please hit that little subscribe button at the side of this video so you will be notified, including if you click that little bell, which was part of Notre Dame at one point. You never know. So today's episode is actually quite a special one because as well as me talking waffle, I've actually got two guys with me who are great friends who know the industry in its own little way. I have John.
Hi.
And I've got Kai.
Hello.
So as you can imagine, I'm in my happy place. So with further ado, we've had a lovely day. Walking around parts of Nottingham. If you haven't visited Nottingham, why not? It's a really good city, really good tourism, as well as other parts of the UK, but I might be a little bit biased here. Nottingham's quite a good city. It just has its flaws, like everyone else at DFS. And flaws the guy. So, with further ado, let's start with you, John. Please, could you tell my wonderful audience about yourself, about your time with the gym and stuff?
I've been going to the gym consistently for several years now, probably on and off for the last 20 years, but consistently for at least the last sort of 5 to 8 years. Training to do powerlifting, starting to do competitions, mainly because it's a sport that you compete on your own against yourself, and everyone's there trying to improve, and everyone wants to see everyone do well.
Yeah. And how are you doing with the powerlifting, John?
Pretty well. So I just did a competition at the start of the month where I finished 3rd overall, which was a really great place to be.
Woo, 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 woo. So Kai, what's your backstory with the gym or fitness?
Well, I used to go to the gym when I was in work. In my previous job, I used to go every lunch hour and work out. And for a while I was enjoying it. I got into shape. But I decided that it wasn't for me, and I packed it in and decided more food was what I was interested in than picking up weights. So I went across that route instead.
Ah, interesting. Yeah. So both of you obviously mentioned about gyms. So with my backstory at the gym, I used to go to a very well-known gym, which can't really say due to obviously copyright, but it was a gym that had a variety of machinery, but also a variety of really good personal trainers and really good fitness coaches, and also your little mentors and coaches as well. So I could say that I'm not exactly scared of the gym, but in some respects, I'm a little bit scared. I might be 6'1.5", but there's certain things that I do not go to. And one thing which did come to mind, in particular with gyms, because there is sort of the assumptions, if you both can agree, that there is the assumption that one of the reasons why that I might not go to a gym is that I'll get judged, because I'm not like in a nice way of saying it, a gym queen. So if anyone doesn't know what a gym queen is, just go to the gym and you'll find them. And usually they're the ones near the mirror. So what's your thoughts about body image and body confidence?
Oh, that is potentially a long and complicated story.
Well, we've got all day. Just joking.
But we haven't, because at some point we want to go and get dinner.
Well, of course, was it? So, but you never know, was it? But like Charles Dickens would say, or probably William Shakespeare would say, was it? Cut it short. So,
So we could wind the clock all the way back to when I was about 21 years old, and I'm not going to tell you how long ago that was.
Just a few years, people.
But back then, I was probably about 10.5 stone, so that's, I think, what's it, £150-ish for our people who work in pounds rather than stone. Skinny stick of nothing, and I really didn't like what I saw in the mirror one little bit. So that was when I first decided to start going to the gym regularly, start eating more, trying to bulk up, and I went from so £150 to sort of about, say, £170, £180 reasonably muscly, and I felt a bit more confident. I'm still not always particularly body confident, even now, even at whatever it is, 230 odd pounds of mostly muscle.
Trust me, guys, as it believe me, it's muscle.
Yeah, and it was quite good fun when people started noticing and appreciating it, and it sort of, again, as a fairly shy and retiring person, it's sort of this weird mix of loving the attention but also being slightly scared of it at the same time.
So on the flip side of it, so going to bring in Kai in with this. So you're saying that so you did all the gym stuff, and you were probably, I'm not gonna stereotypically say you being a gym queen.
More like a dairy queen.
Yes, but now a dairy queen. Like I said, that was not me. You said it. It was him. So yes. So what's your view with body image and confidence?
It's a tricky one, really, because you constantly battle your own image of your own body versus what society will look at you and judge you for. And there's a huge taboo on obesity and whatnot, especially at the moment in the UK. And a lot of people will jump onto that bandwagon and view anything that's not slim or muscular as being ill in some form. So as someone who likes a bigger frame, I like being more chunky and funky. It can be hard. I don't really tell a lot of people that I like it because I know it's still a social taboo. More people are likely to say to me, "Oh, it looks like you've lost weight," which to the average person is a compliment. To me, I'm like, "Oh no, really? I thought I was doing so well." But I know if I told that person that it's the other way round, they will either think I've got some kind of mental illness, which would be brother's point of view, or they might just want to distance themselves from me or tell me how I'm ruining my body and bringing health aspects.
Yeah.
And it can be quite negative. But I think the important thing is to do what you believe is right for your own body, what your own image is, how you feel, how you look, and if people don't like it, then that's on them. You know, it's too many people tell you what to do these days.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And you were saying about negativity with both sides of the spectrum. One thing which can be either the beast of negativity or the beast of positivity is social media.
True.
Now, so my view of social media, that if you treat it well and use it very positively, it usually does go in your favour. Though, with this day and age and world, as it unfortunately, like the common phrase and also very famous phrase, you can't have nothing for free. So, in metaphorically speaking, it could go as a negative. So, with that in mind, so John, have you noticed anything on social media that would say or scream negativity about, for example, your like powerlifting?
That was probably one of my biggest fears, and it's turned out, in my case, to be fairly unfounded. That despite posting lots of photos in the gym and even a few sort of shirtless photos, and expecting to get people pointing out that although I'm muscular, I don't have a six-pack, I'm not that ripped or that sort of conventionally in shape, the sort of the popular image of what a guy in inverted commas should look like. I was quite prepared to have that, and it's not come. So I don't know whether I've used the wrong hashtags or I've just been lucky. But at the same time, I am well aware that there are lots of people out there who will happily sort of sit behind the safety of a keyboard and hurl abuse at people for not fitting their particular aesthetic ideal.
Yeah. So same for you, Carly.
Well, for me, I keep a lot into circles that are in the same mindset as me. So I have a lot of friends who are into the same kind of body ideals as I do, and it's quite, I won't say exactly underground, but kind of at the same time. It's not out in the open because there's a lot of fear of judgment, and with social media, everyone's scared of putting anything out there in case it suddenly gets widespread. It doesn't take much for something to go viral, and there's a lot of shows out there like my £600 husband or whatever it's called. It's just shows out there that put everything into a bad light, and it can garner you some really bad publicity. I did, however, get someone messaged me who found my information and saw what I was doing, question whether or not it was a good idea. So why would you want to do that to yourself? And I just put them to it. It's just bodybuilding. It might be an unconventional body type, but it's a body type that I feel more comfortable in. I like being cuddly. I like the bigger frame. I like the idea of being a bear. And to me, I'd rather hug a pillow than hug a rock. And so that's the kind of aesthetic I want to go for myself. It's all about what body do you want, what do you admire, and the world is full of very mixed people. You'll never find someone that has the same opinion through everything as someone else. It's so diverse, so there's no reason why body image preference to that being any different. And she actually got on side with me then and found it very interesting, so I was able to at least explain to one person that what I'm doing is not crazy.
Was it me think you're crazy? Never. At all. Was it
Totally.
bonkers? Yes, never crazy. You mentioned about the keyboard warriors.
Yeah.
So I've had one. Though thankfully they were spotted and sorted out quite quickly, which, to their surprise, it was quite a nice feeling. But with both sides, I will explain to everyone that at the moment if anyone's been to my lovely little place, that if you imagine 3 interestingly sized guys on a 3-piece seat, which isn't exactly as large as a 3-seater, it's actually quite a snug But it's so you can imagine I'm basically the microphone in the middle, so I'm getting both body heats. So with that in mind, and giving you a bit of an image. One thing which I know it depends on people's views with fitness, but if you could tell your 10-year self, your success advice that you might have been given, what would it be?
Right. Oh gosh, that's a tricky one, because I think 10 years ago I was actually in a fairly different place. So I think 10 years ago I'd more or less given up on the gym, and I was gaining. I was about 250 pounds and quite sort of chubby with it, and that was great. I loved where I was at the time, but felt like, but eventually reached a point where I wanted a change. I think in many ways 10 year ago me was actually in a far better place. I think he was in a relationship. He had decent mental health. The only thing possibly his physical health wasn't as great because of the weight he was carrying and the exercise he wasn't doing. So I think the main thing would probably have been to try and find maybe a better balance back then of training and eating. But to be honest, I found it sort of fairly easy to get back into the gym and to hit the fitness goals. And I think that's the thing, is that you can change your goals, change your direction at any time. Don't be afraid to do it, and just take a chance and go for it.
Yeah. So what about you, Kai?
Well, I agree on what John was saying, that you change so much as a person through your life. I mean, I'm so different than I was 2 years ago, let alone 10. And 10 years ago, I was when I was at the gym, and it was the body I thought I wanted. It was the body everyone told me I wanted. And we went on a journey to, go in the opposite direction. And it was a love-hate thing. I loved it, but I hated who I was for doing this for myself. And I kept going back and forth, and it took me a while to get to the weight I am now. I've put on almost double the weight that I started at, and but that was very slow forming over the years because I was in different headspaces throughout the time. It's you can want like an end goal, but it's very important to stay in the moment and what you feel you need for the time that you're in then, because you could try and go, no, I have to get to this goal above all else, but in your living situation it could be a real detriment to yourself. You could push yourself further than you're willing to go, and that's when you can have real problems with your own body image and have almost like body dysphoria, because your body's not where you want it to be. So I've paused quite a few times. I'm actually pausing right now with my body fitness and journey, because I'm taking like a mental health break from it. I don't want to focus so much on a goal and a target, because it's almost admitting that you're not perfect as you are. You're not good enough yet.
Yeah.
And I want to try and just get back to body positivity, to saying, I do look great. I am happy with how I am now, and take the load off. Yeah.
So you're saying about body and everything else, but I'll say, so one thing which I forgot to say and ask. So one thing which social media is known for is the knowledge of the perfect body, which I can say that a lot of the perfect body, as you can understand when I say this, is all photoshopped.
Yeah.
All because when it comes to the perfect body, the perfect bodies for us, it can differ to whoever you are. Like in the big example with John and Kai, with being other ends of the spectrums. So what's your view with photoshopping?
I think it's a very dangerous thing potentially, because anything that portrays an unattainable ideal is going to result in people doing or potentially doing harm to themselves to try and live up to that ideal, whether that's guys not just going to the gym but overtraining, risking injury, taking steroids and potentially other dangerous substances, or getting things like sort of trying to boost their testosterone and doing things without necessarily going through legitimate medical channels, and thereby sort of storing up. They may in the short term look good and get the body that they want, but potentially storing up health problems for themselves in the future.
Yeah. So what's your view, Kai?
Well, very much the same. It's dangerous to almost fantasize on what you should be. There is no perfect size. There's more ideal or less ideal, sure, but if you're not enjoying your body now, then take a break, because you can obsess. It's kind of like Ahab and Moby Dick. You know, you're gonna go and aim for this body type that you probably never achieve. You know, and even if you get people who want to be like, you know, Mr. Universe size, and some bodies just can't take that muscle, and it's the same with my side of things. I know a lot of people who want to get so big they can't even walk and all sorts, and that's scary. Bigger doesn't always mean better. Just as stronger doesn't always mean better. You've got to know your own limitations and keep things more grounded. If you aim too high and obsess over it, it's only going to cause you stress and trauma in the future. It's try and stay in the moment a lot more.
Yeah, and I totally agree with both of you with that. I think that's the end of the podcast. Which is probably a relief for these two. So for next show and podcast, keep an eye out. And if I forgot to say in earlier on, I do apologise. But please do click that little subscribe button. Every little helps. And also that little bell, just so that you get notified when I post anything up. As you can imagine, there is a backlog of amazing videos and vlogs that are coming your way. My name is James, and I am Mr. Behrchat. See you soon. Bye. Behr Explores, proudly sponsoring Nottinghamshire Hurricanes Rugby team. Ever fancied doing some rugby? Wanted to get fit? Want to socialise and make new friends? Well, Nottinghamshire Hurricanes can do just that. They train at the Nottingham Forest Recreation Ground from 6:30 p.m. on Wednesdays. If interested, all details will be listed in the information box down below.